Thank you, Commissioner Bratton, Mr. Mayor, Chief. Last night in Dallas, a group peaceably assembled to demonstrate and express their grievances. This is something they had a right to do in accord with our American tradition of peaceful demonstration in pursuit of change. The evening was shattered by a despicable act of murder directed at those present to keep the peace. At this time, there appears to have been one gunman with no known links to or inspiration from any international terrorist organization. One Dallas area rapid transit officer has been killed. 4 Dallas police officers have been killed, and other law enforcement officers have been wounded. Several civilians were also wounded. We mourn the loss of those killed and pray for the wounded. Many people from multiple communities now are angry and on edge. Today I come to One Police Plaza to stand with law enforcement to say this: last night's killer acted with a depraved misbelief that the murder of police officers solves a problem. Just like last night's killer does not represent all those who seek to bring about change, any police officer who engages in excessive force does not represent all those in law enforcement. Far from it. The role of the police officer is to protect and to serve, to keep the peace and serve the community. This is the reason the overwhelming majority of our nation's law enforcement officers put on a badge, and it is what they do every day in your community and mine. Indeed, in the face of last night's attack targeting the police, their first reaction was to protect the public. Violence is never the answer. Violence directed at our police officers is never the answer. Violence directed at police officers endangers them, and it endangers the very public they are sworn to protect. Now more than ever, the police and the communities they serve must come together, heal the wounds, and bridge any differences. Dallas, in particular, has been a model in that regard. Today, the families of those killed should know we stand with them, grieve with them, and will do our best to support them in the days ahead. Thank you. We'll take any questions. Yes, sir.
The shooter liked several anti-government black empowerment groups on Facebook, including some that explicitly called for attacks against law enforcement. Were these groups monitored, or will they be monitored going forward for potential shooters like this?
Well, I think the facts are still out on whether the shooter last night had an explicit membership in any of these organizations. The investigation of that is still early. Anytime law enforcement assesses that there is an individual or a group of individuals conspiring to commit criminal activity, to commit acts of mass violence, or plotting to commit violence, they are and they should be under surveillance pursuant to normal law enforcement procedures like many of the gentlemen up here do every day. And so irrespective of the particular identity of a group, if that group is engaged in plotting to commit criminal activity, they can and they should and they will be under the appropriate level of law enforcement scrutiny. Next question. Yes.
Commissioner